Hello, my name is Kristen Link. I'm a regular contributor to the Field Notes section of Edible Alaska. I'm also an artist and science illustrator. My passion is learning about and working with wild plants in Alaska and showing people how to incorporate them into everyday home cooking. Today I want to talk about my contribution for the fall 2020 edible, discussing making an herbal jelly with whatever wild plants are abundant around you or abundant in your garden. I combined both garden and wild plants. And then the process for hot water bath canning to prepare a jelly. Before we begin, I want to acknowledge that I'm on Ahtna Athabascan land and also to appreciate the Ahtna people's stewardship of land and plant knowledge in the past, present, and in the future. So I'm going to go over the process of making an herbal tea and then how to can it in hot water bath canning. So supplies that you need for this are obviously your herbs. One of the things that I love about this recipe is that it's really adaptable. Basically, you can use whatever herbs you want. I based it kind of off of mint jelly, which is kind of maybe something I grew up with it because my grandparents ate a lot of lamb and we'd have mint jelly with it. But you can make jelly out of any types of herbs. And what I love to do is to go outside and just see what's in season. So really any time of year you can do this. One of the herbs that's in the class packet is Labrador tea. I'll talk a little bit more about that separately, but Labrador tea is available year-round. You can also use herbs that you've dried for this recipe. So you can collect stuff during the summer or the fall and then make a jelly in the winter. But of course, picking things when they're fresh and making a jelly is a great way to preserve whatever's going on outside in your kitchen now to enjoy during the winter. So I just went outside and what I have abundant around my yard here in McCarthy is some Labrador tea. I still have, even though it's late, some raspberry leaf. We have a lot of raspberry in our yard. And then also I picked some rose hips, which the Labrador tea and the rose hips are really high in vitamin C, and the raspberry leaf has a lot of other minerals in it. Then I walked over to my garden. I found some yarrow leaf that was still growing there, which has a really nice fragrance and kind of a spicy flavor. A lot of these plants also have other medicinal properties, so that you could think of them as medicine, but you can use them in small amounts, just as kind of like a tonic or a tea as well. So I have yarrow, which is actually a wild plant, but it was growing in my garden. I have some tarragon. Our tarragon's been going crazy this year. And then I have a couple different types of thyme and some hyssop, which is in the mint family. It's a little bit bitter, so I don't want to use a lot, just a little bit. And then what I'm going to do to make my tea is I have just a regular stainless steel saucepan here. I'm going to start with the heartier things that I want to boil for longer. So those might be my thyme, and then the rose hips. The rest of the things I think I'll put in later in the process. And then I'm just going to cover this with water. And bring it to a boil. So I'm going to make my tea separately and then make a jelly.